start presentation? Special call Finance Committee meeting budget hearing for September 9th, 2025. Counselor Smith,
Here.
Watney's out, Alderman,
Here.
Brandt, here, and Mr. Harden is out. So
All
we
right,
have
we got three. Hopefully some other folks will join us before the end of the night. We shall see. All right, our only agenda item is 030925, which is a request for consideration of a 2025-2026 budget presentation coming to us from our city manager, Mr. Adams. Tonight we are hearing the budget presentations from our inspections department, our library, and our engineering department, which will also encompass our capital budget, capital projects budget, which is exciting. I don't see Wyatt.
I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
He's hiding.
Sorry, you were being blocked by Kale. So yay, you're there. My thought process is because Kale's presentation is going to be a lot more complicated and lengthy, I thought that it would be fair to let Judith and Wyatt go prior to that so that they could exit stage left and not be here as long as the rest of us.
But they're welcome to stay.
But they're welcome to
Only
stay.
fair.
But do not feel like you have to, I say very clearly. We had some good news this week. First of all, I think the first night of budget hearings went great. Very good to hear from both of our chiefs. And while they discussed their capital projects, their capital budgets, a lot of what they talked about, well, specifically Brandon, Kale will also be talking about, because we'll be talking about the new fire station. But we did, oh, there's Mr. Harden. But we already heard about new fire trucks, new police vehicles, ammunition, guns, all the things. So there are capital expenditures that don't fall in that capital projects budget, which is what Kale's gonna be talking to us tonight. We had some good news this week. This was our first August and Sanford move-in session without having to deal with Target incentives. So our sales tax revenue was higher than projected.
Oh, wonderful.
Because we didn't have the Target to worry, and we still had Sanford students moving in and spending lots of money, which we greatly appreciate. So that was good news for this week. And with that, we will go with Judith. Did you say you wanted to go first? Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we'll start with library.
I think
think the presentation's gonna focus more on capital projects, but I just want to start off with saying thank you, because in the last couple of years, with the renovations funding that y'all have allowed us to do, we've entered into kind of a renaissance at the library, and I really appreciate everything that y'all have given to us and to the community through the library. And if y'all have questions about anything, please stop me or feel free to chime in. So for our technology capital, one of the biggest asks we have is for a security camera project. We recently kind of shifted around to find a new company that is not only going to help us install additional security cameras, but they did an audit of our current security cameras, and they can pivot them around to find better placement for them. Also includes a large server. Currently the security cameras go up and down, which isn't helpful when you need access to them. So this is our biggest request. We also are on a computer replacement rotation. So upcoming year we want to replace the computer lab and the training lab computers, and we're shifting to Chromeboxes, which is a new movement in public libraries. It's very cost savings, but it also still allows us to keep the standard of service that we offer.
And how long do y'all typically, what do y'all expect the lifespan to be for y'all?
We try to make it 3 years, but it typically doesn't. So 2 is a good round if we can get them, just because they're used so much.
And these are in the public
Yes.
computer labs. These aren't like your computers in your
No.
offices. These are the ones that people are using in the labs.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's a Chromebox?
Versus a Chromebook.
It's totally different. So a Chromebox is just the computer. Now, I am not my IT team, and they did drill me on this, but it is not a Chromebook. So it is more centralized. Everything's kind of like a PC, but just a Google version. So, and a lot cheaper, turns out. Jamex coin machine, that's standard. We offer printing to the public, and then just an employee badge printer. Nothing major there. Yeah. Building capital, so one of an interesting request that we're asking for is a lactation pods for the children's department for a lot of different reasons. Our children's department is covered up with nursing mothers. We also have several staff members who are nursing, and we do not have a place where they can comfortably do that. We've looked at a Mamava lactation pod. We actually went and toured one at Milo's warehouse in West Homewood, and it allows for the mother to be in there comfortably, allows for a space for another child, and where we're looking to put it also has stroller space. And this would allow us to be compliant with the Pump Act for nursing mothers. And currently, if someone wants a private space, they go in my office, whether they're a public or a staff member, and that's perfectly fine, but we want to give them this space.
And where are y'all proposing to put it?
In the children's department, so it does come on wheels, so later on, if
Okay.
we shift around, it can be moved. But when you first walk in the children's department,
Yeah.
we've got some old study carrels.
Yeah.
And we wanted to put it there.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Okay.
Next request, we're wanting to replace our courtyard doors. So these doors are very heavy. An able-bodied person has struggles to get out of them. And so this would allow us to get ADA compliant doors and just make it much easier for accessibility.
Will they be like the doors that in the rest of the library that are automatic?
Yes, that can automatically open. And then single AC unit for one of the offices, and then general meeting room renovations. This is because we rent our meeting rooms out to the public. They get a lot of wear and tear, so a lot of times we try to section off and like, let's replace all of the carpet in this auditorium at once. Let's do the lighting. We're still working to upgrade from like these lights to LED lights that last longer. So general things like that.
So are you talking about on that AC unit, like a window unit kind of AC unit?
No, it would just be.
Aren't we on central air there?
We are, but this would be an office unit, but it's not a window unit.
Is it like one of the floor
Yes.
models?
Mhm.
Yeah, like one of those, those
It's
portables.
just too hot in that office?
Well, the unit they have is old, so it doesn't
Oh,
run
So
efficiently.
they have one there now?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about building capital? Furniture capital, so one of the requests that we have is we want to replace our boardroom table and chairs. It's from 1996. It has served us well, but it is broken in several areas. And our boardroom not only hosts all of 9 of our book clubs, it hosts several official meetings from the county and the library board meeting as well. And this goes in conjunction with, we're wanting for phase 4 renovations to redo administration along with the children's department. So this is just part of that. Meeting room replacement chairs, again, goes back to we rent our rooms for the public. They get a lot of use, they get damaged. So this is general. The desk chairs, that's for staff replacement, just a rotation of that. We are wanting to open an additional study room, so right now we have 6 study rooms, and we've identified an area that we can turn into the 7th. Currently, our study rooms get used about 4,500 times a year, and there's always a wait for them, whether it's in the morning, people are using them for meetings, or in the afternoons for tutoring. So having one more space would just help provide a new service. And then a few minor things, just some copier cabinets to help along with the area. We've got some wall displays. The biggest one down here, well, it's not biggest, but $7,000. This is to update our cafe furniture. I received a grant from County Commissioner Bolin for $10,000 to update the furniture. It would help it be more modernized, where it could be moved around for study groups, but also provide power for people who are teleworking or doing interviews. So this would just coincide with that grant.
So it would be $7,000 of our money
Yes.
in addition to the $10,000 that he's
Yes.
giving y'all.
We had requested the full amount in the grant, but he could only do half,
Okay,
which is still appreciated.
yeah.
Any questions?
I do washer, dryer, what do y'all do?
Oh, yes,
Do
I didn't see that on the
dryer at
side.
the library,
So that was my first reaction,
Yeah.
like years ago, but so we have mop heads, we have towels, but one of the main things that's constantly used, we do story time 6 to 7 times a week, and we have lap mats that are washed every single time. So yes, we need it. Because that was I was like, we got a washer and dryer, what do we do? And then when you think about everything we do, there's a lot to it. So, I forgot these are on the side. So wheelchair accessible picnic table, that's to go by the sound garden. We're looking to pave a path that way to provide more accessibility. And the outdoor bench and bike racks, those are to replace the ones from the mid-90s. So. Phase 4. So this is going to be in Kale's budget. This is the final phase. I promise I won't come anymore for phase 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we're all ready for the phases to be done. And this would finish up in the children's department and allow us to replace the floor, also update the paint scheme. We have a really wonderful mid-90s color scheme. And I will say our children's department, they're so creative and colorful. They can make it work. But we want to provide modernized colors, but also we want to be able to print vinyl decals so we can change out, and that would give us kind of a neutral palette to do that. We want to continue into administration, update the boardroom. Right now we have a very dark wallpaper. It's not the most welcoming environment, but again, it has served us well the last 30 years. In general, update the signage and update the restrooms in the administration hallway. Some of the restrooms actually haven't been touched since the 70s when it was the church. So that part we would really like to update, because when you walk in, you see that yellow floor. It takes you back. So,
Kale, that seems like a big number for that, just that. Is there a lot more work than that?
I mean, that is, right. Davis is working on it, they've been released, they're gonna have the plans done by December, I think, because the project has to be finished by May.
yes. So it's the restrooms that
The
add a lot
bathrooms,
to it.
yeah.
So you're looking at 3 restrooms, but then also paint and carpet. If you go back to when Debbie made the first phase request, which she thought the whole project could be done in one phase, this was pre-COVID, and then that amount just skyrocketed, and now it's been divided into 4 phases. So that's just part of it, unfortunately. But bringing Kale in this year on phase 3 has helped us keep the cost down, because we've been able to become competitive with the bidders.
Is the restrooms, will they be ADA compliant?
So
as
2
well?
of them already are ADA compliant. They're the current phase 3 that they're about to renovate, those restrooms, they're going to turn those into ADA compliant. So it would allow for all the restrooms minus the single stall ones, the children's department, and there's one single one in admin, to be ADA compliant.
And also when the bids come in under budget, we're gonna be glad that we have that number. It's a lot easier saying, oh, we were under budget on the bids.
For the bond, or it's a lot easier with us.
That's right.
You don't want me to come back and ask
Yeah.
for more money.
Yeah.
We'd much rather you say, we didn't even use all the money.
Exactly. See?
All right, fantastic.
That's all I got.
Do talk about, because I know you have one personnel request, do explain
Yes,
that.
so we currently have a part-time administrative assistant that's 19 hours a week, and we've had that position 2.5 years. We're requesting it go up to full-time. So what this position works on a lot is our record keeping for the library board, but also the record keeping for our grants. We're averaging about $100,000 a year in grants, and Barry can attest, we don't do giant purchases. If it's a collection development grant, you're gonna see a lot of small purchases for books and things like that, or if it's a craft program that we're working on, you're gonna see a lot of small numbers. So that's a lot of receipts to keep up with, and having that full-time will allow us to manage that better, but then also look for additional grants, because that's always our goal, is to think outside the box and set us ahead of the curve.
All right.
How many of your team members are full-time versus part-time right now?
So currently, we are 55 employees, with 25 being full-time and 30 being part-time. So our part-time outnumber full-time.
Yeah, so I think that, I think library has always been judicious with how it allocates its funding, has tried to do a lot with
A little.
the resources that they have. So I just appreciate the effort always, and I think that the opportunity to potentially elevate someone from part-time to full-time.
Especially if it means maybe finding some more grant.
Yes.
That's
Ooh,
right.
We love
Yeah.
our grants.
Because that's a return on investment
Yeah.
that is always worthwhile.
Appreciate it.
And this position wouldn't become full-time until January, so it would be a few months into the fiscal year.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well,
Anybody else have any questions of Judith?
Counselor Smith, I just have a question related to, like, again, this probably goes back to format from prior years, and we're doing things different this year, but
Yeah.
like, compared to like where we started, like 3 of her line items made adjustments, but there's zero sum difference in the budget.
Bottom
So
number.
are we doing like, are we marking that up as we go along, or how?
We're really not. I mean, it's
Okay.
just, all of that, I think when we get the final budget, all of that's gonna be reflected. But yeah, I mean, we're unlike in previous years
Yeah.
where we literally went through line by line by line by line. We're not doing that.
That's it.
this year.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff had to go up with the CPI and some didn't. And so it was kind of a choosing which ones made sense that had to go up with the CPI.
Okay.
You're good. Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We appreciate
Well,
it.
I appreciate it, thank y'all, and
Thank you.
I'm not gonna stay, so I'm sorry.
All right. Wyatt, are you ready? Thank you, Judith.
Good job, Judith.
Have a good night.
All right. So all the services that I provide are gonna remain the same. There's not a huge increase in any ask here. The notable increases, some of it can be accounted for by things that have already been approved by resolution. And I'll just remind you that when you approved them, I told you I would add that into the budget this year, so that's what I'm doing. Contractual services, Brian, if you could go, contractual services being the notable increase. We had a contractual services line item in our Fund 25, which is inspection technology. And we also had a contractual services line item in our Fund 12, Department 12 budget. We sort of consolidated all that together. The 2 items that you're already familiar with are the additional users. We've got to pay $14,378 and $2,800 for our payments processing system called Tyler Payments. So I've added that into the budget. There's still some technical work to be done to the system, $52,000. It's going to cost $55,000 annually to keep the Citizens Access Portal and Plan Review System in place. That's our fee. So that accounts for all that. It's kind of consolidated.
Now, I know, Wyatt, that y'all are going to start, and this may be totally wrapped up in the payment processing, but I know people are gonna start being able to, like contractors are gonna be able to do their business licenses with y'all, so they don't have to go to your office and then go down to Bo's office and, you know.
That's exactly right. And kind of the thing that's been hindering us kind of going full steam into that is the Tyler Payments portion of it. We're unable to do any kind of online cashiering.
Right.
So people can't pay anything online. So now that we've got that, now that we're about to have that in
Yeah.
October, once this money's approved, we'll go ahead and put that in place.
Okay.
And we should be able to take over the business license for that. So that'll actually be more revenue coming in.
Right.
to our
And
department.
which contract is that one? Because I know we approved all the Tyler Technology stuff in
That's
council
right.
already.
It's that resolution 25-58,
Okay.
payments processing.
Okay,
So that's,
yeah, it's not much.
no, it's really not. It's actually going pretty good.
And I assume that's gonna help your staff as well, just to keep it a little bit more going to, people going to the
Yeah,
right
but
place.
Yes, but the major win will be for our contractors
Sure.
and service, people that come into the city. And it'll be a huge benefit for Wyatt and his staff, because no longer will they have to call down to us
Yeah.
to,
Verify.
verify and check. And it'll, like I said, one-stop shop, and it'd be a great benefit to all of our contractors and service providers.
So essentially, the revenue is already existent, it's just
It's
gonna
with me.
move from you
Mhm.
to you, right,
Yes.
yeah, it's just kinda shifting.
And we'll come up with a number, look, because here again, a lot of your contractors, if they don't have jobs here, they won't renew their license until a job
They
is due. So
Right.
the number will be a little skewed,
Yeah.
but we'll get as close as we can.
Yeah.
All right,
So that's how that works. Let's see, supplies, uniforms, and minor tools and equipment remain unchanged. That number's worked for us for quite a while, and we're still doing okay with that. Demolition costs, $330,000. So this represents the average estimate that I received a couple years ago to demolish the structure at the Park at Buckingham that's been sitting there forever. I plan to do that this year, move forward on, go ahead and demolish that. We've kind of gone round and round long enough on that. Plus 2 to 4 average size single-family residences. We've got a whole bunch of them in process right now. So hopefully that'll be enough, but that's sort of where we stand.
I think I asked you this question in our initial meetings, because I understand what we're doing at Park at Buckingham, and it is much needed. I have delivered Meals on Wheels there for a long time, and it is not in great, I mean, I feel
Nice.
sorry for no, it's not. That is a understatement.
Yes.
But here is my question. I mean, I guess this is the same as abating a single-family home, but do we have any financial recourse in the fact that we are investing a whole lot of money to tear down a structure on a private property?
Yes, we have the same recourse in the sense that
We
it
put
is
a
a
lien.
lien that's filed against that property.
Yeah.
So,
But how does that work with a commercial property? Because I get it with a single-family home, it's like if the
Can't
house.
sell it without that
You
lien
can't
being
sell it
paid.
with that lien being
That's right.
satisfied, and I assume the lien is much larger than would be on a
would
single-family
be.
home.
It would be, yes,
Okay.
that's right.
And,
So-
and I assume does the company, I know the management company changed. Have we had any,
They sell it again?
The whole
Conversation.
management
Huh?
scenario out
They
there is
sell
like a
it again?
shell game.
Think
It's,
so.
it's,
it
Just
seems like they
when-
constantly are,
Yes.
yeah, just when you think you've got a
Fail
good
them.
contact and things are working smoothly.
that all
just-
goes along. Okay, so that's something
big
that you're
game.
planning on doing in 2020, starting maybe like the beginning of the year?
Yes, probably around the beginning of the
Okay.
year. Because it'll require some asbestos abatement, and there's a whole process there.
Okay.
And before I let you get away from that one, he wanted to have $2 million down there for the Tal Hotel. We don't know the timing of being able to do that, and I figured I could come back to the council and do a special request for that on that.
I will be glad to not be here when that, just saying.
I'll be glad to see it happen.
Yeah, I'll be glad to see it happen, but I'll be glad to not have any part in it. Thank you very much. All right.
Okay, we good?
Excellent.
Memberships and subscriptions, 800. We're going up a little bit on our travel and conference. We're trying to get a little more involvement on that, a little more group education. and-
Didn't you say there's a specific one that y'all are planning on doing that y'all haven't really all done before? Did you mention that? I can't remember. That may have been somebody else.
That wouldn't be us, I don't
Okay,
believe.
okay, it must
but,
have been.
we have some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
We have several really good ones that are available to our guys, so I'm gonna really encourage that. The tuition in schools, that's really not new money, that was a line item that was moved over from the old technology fund. And we're just kind of bringing things together, simplifying things, cleaning things up. Technology fund's still there, and it's gonna be good for some of the technological improvements that I can foresee coming in the future, but that's for another, whole other discussion. Any questions on my department budget? Yes, sir.
Wyatt, I just have a question about uniform expenses. Could you just tell me how those are categorized in your department, or what falls under that category?
What falls under that?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So generally, it's pants and shirts, and hats,
Is it city branded, the shirts?
all city branded, yeah,
Fantastic.
not the pants, but, you know, it's just, it's sort of like tough pants that are, you know, good on a work site. And then all shirts that have the City of Homewood logo on them, same with any hats. Our guys are not big hat wearers for some reason, so we don't really get into that a whole lot.
That's great. I wanted to make sure they were, you know, city branded, because that's always great for when they're out in the community that people know.
I think everybody who works for the city, whether it's fire, police, whenever they go out, they all have either the polo shirts or they all have the Homewood City logo on them.
That's right. We, you know, if they start looking worn or old, whatever, we just say, you know, get rid of that one, you know.
Yeah.
They'll get you some new shirts. So I'm kind of big on that. I like them to look fresh.
No, that's great. Thanks.
Okay, moving on to maintenance. Did somebody have a question right here?
No, I think you're-
Sorry. This is Lee's department. Supplies, uniforms, going up a little bit on uniforms. We feel like maybe they need to upgrade a little bit.
And who's the guy that works with Lee now?
Matthew. Yeah, he does great, by the way. Minor tools and equipment is going up to 9,500. That's due to the laws changing related to Freon. There's a new type of Freon, so all the equipment's gonna have to be converted, and there's special tools and tooling required to do that, so that's gotta go up this year. Building repairs and maintenance has been 50,000
Forever.
for as long as I've been here, so, and that's a pretty good amount. We always have things that come up, that need to be addressed, and it's good to
Speaking of
have
that,
that
is there a
money.
window out around your floor? I
No.
swear I thought I saw a window.
A window?
out. Yeah, it looked like there's a window out somewhere.
Oh, the third floor.
Oh, is that where they're doing the renovations? Yes, okay, thank you. I just saw it today and it looked like it was fourth floor. Okay, thank you, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yes. And then maintenance contracts, 19,000, that's for your elevator, and the train. Mostly it's for the train chiller.
Yeah.
Wireless communications, that's moving away. Membership dues, tuition in schools, travel and conference, all basically enough for them to attend a conference and travel to do so. Pay their membership dues to any trade organizations that they belong to, and $500 for perhaps some online training or they may need some training related to the new EPA rules and things like that. So, I feel like that's a reasonable amount.
Is that enough?
It seems low.
I was gonna say, that's low.
It's low to me.
Yeah.
The travel and conference are particularly low.
Yeah, you know, they've never been big on the travel and conference thing. They certainly don't, it's not like they fly somewhere. You know, I'll be flying to Cleveland in October for the ICC conference, but they don't usually do things like that. So if they go to one, it may be at the most in Auburn for the mechanical, plumbing, and gas. So it's,
All right, I was just saying, even mileage alone right there,
Yeah.
you go twice.
yeah,
I was about to say, I'm not sure Lee ever goes anywhere.
yeah, it would probably be Matthew, to be honest with you.
Just asking, just making sure.
I know. It's one conference, I go to one person.
That's the registration fee for a conference.
I know, it's not a lot, but I think it'll probably get us through it. And if it's not, we'll put more in there next year.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Wow, no personnel changes?
Oh,
no-
well, just the one you know about.
Oh, yes.
The plans examiner, who
We've
found
already
someone,
approved, yeah. Oh, you
and-
have?
Yeah, and he's accepted the offer.
Oh, that's
but, He
exciting.
won't be able to start until mid-October, but
Okay.
we've gone this far without one. and-
Yeah, but that's
Congratulations.
exciting.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, I appreciate y'all for approving that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Pugh?
I would just say too, for actuals for reference for this year for travel and conference, and so far this year, 0.
Is there?
It's actually been 0.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Exactly, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Pugh.
thank you
Appreciate
all.
it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Does everybody need a quick break? Bathroom, anybody?
Yes.
Yes, would you like to? Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
Go, open up something.
Okay, okay, hold on, he's gonna
I've
work
got
on
it.
something.
I'm gonna crank my,
Oh, your computer, okay. I'm gonna actually go to the restroom. Me too.
are you right? Are you?
Break down.
You can do that now?
I was just gonna use this space.
Go
I
ahead,
was gonna put it on the
absolutely.
table.
Yeah, make yourself, whatever I can do to help.
Hola.
Hola.
The first night, I think Bo gave it to me.
Take your box. Take your box, it's got 15,000 things in
Ready?
Well, I was just telling
Oh, you need a little snack too, huh?
that,
Well, I had to.
You had to go. What are you looking for?
Fundraising for the
Okay, that's a question. Yeah, let's go. Come on. We're on track to finish early. I feel like you're gonna
Well, I
send
told
us.
Bo I have 2 hours, right?
Yeah, right. You have 2 hours. Yeah, an hour and 20.
I didn't agree to that. Let me, action.
So I'm gonna talk, I think we only actually have one slide in here for 0113, which is my department, general
Right.
budget, general fund. My wife always tells me don't bury the lead because my stories get really long. So we're just gonna dive right into it, Brian. Is the personnel request.
Right.
There are a lot of words up here that I'm not gonna read, but if, there are 4 reasons why we need a senior civil engineer, which is a pretty high-level position. So grade 29. Number 1 is the service load. Since I've been here, we've taken on trees, fences, and signs, and we haven't added any staff. So everybody who's currently upstairs is full capacity right now. The other one is the comp plan that we're gonna start this year, or next year, November. That's gonna be another service that we provide that's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of coordination with stakeholders and community members and leaders and the consultant. We're gonna work closely with them. And so for that to be executed appropriately and properly over the next 2 years, and then the projects that follow that, we're gonna have to add people, or a person. The other one is capital projects, which we're gonna talk a lot about in a minute. We have $8.5 million budgeted for capital projects, the sum over the next year. And to put that in perspective, over the past 3 years, we've done about that much. So we're gonna do 3 times the value of projects this year than we've done in the past. And a lot of that has to do with doing the way we're doing things now, which is fire department, library, public works, all those projects are kind of being funneled through us because we have expertise in bidding and contracts and funding and that kind of stuff. So, and the last one is succession planning. If I'm not here, then the engineering department doesn't exist. And if Hannah's not here, then nobody knows how to turn on the GIS computer. And so that's a risk, right, that we have accepted for a really long time. And this new position will be able to backstop those gaps. So that's the personnel request. Does anybody have any questions about? Yeah, Glenn?
I've got some backup statements to give perspective on things. So if you look at some of the stormwater projects he's had to deal with, the expectation is almost an insurmountable thing for him to physically go out and do. So an expectation of a contractor is you put a cover over a drainage so that you don't get soil into that drain while you're doing it, but after you're done putting sod down, you remove that so it doesn't flood. The problem is the only backup is him. And so him being able to get out and go and seeing all the different things that are going on and be able to solve that equation, it's tough for him to do. And there's a lot of things that are happening across the city that he just physically can't do the engineering stuff he's doing in the office and physically get out there and see the things that he has to do on the ground. And so this is a real risk the city is taking for any project that's going on. And that's part of the reason why we added the engineer oversight on the green space, because you couldn't hire a person fast enough to get a person in here to do that. So that's the kind of concept. I mean, that's $85,000 worth of work. And if we have somebody in-house, that pays a half year's salary. And I'm just trying to give that as a scope of the benefit of having an engineer on site. Thank you.
I do have a question, Kel.
Yes.
Because I assume, obviously this person will be hired through the personnel board. Do we know that there is a list available currently with qualified candidates on it?
Yeah, that's a good question. And one that I don't know how much, so I think it would probably be in the best interest of Homewood to find a transfer.
Okay.
So somebody who is currently a senior civil
Someone.
engineer in a municipality
Mhm.
and try to talk to these people or this person about whether or not they would be interested to work for Homewood. We have had senior civil engineers reach out and say, I would love to come work there.
Okay.
With really good experience in planning and in engineering, and GIS, so, yeah.
Yeah.
We, to answer your question, yes, we do have qualified
There are
candidates.
options.
Yeah.
You have options, okay. That's good. Does anybody have a question about that personnel request?
I don't have any questions per se. I think that Kayla's done a tremendous job in leading the engineering department. I think additional support, considering the things that we're trying to accomplish, warrants this position.
Agreed.
Thank you, Carlos.
I think streamlining the services we are too is gonna help expedite things in a way that we don't wanna create a backlog create efficiency somewhere else only to shut it down without having
Yeah,
manpower.
and that's totally fair, because I think we've seen that. I mean, there's only so many things I can bring to council at the same time. I don't want to be Scott Cook with 5 things, you know, every single time.
Right.
And so,
I'll catch you
yeah.
straight.
I mean, in the next couple of council cycles, you'll see requests to set a bid date, you know, here and stuff. And so that,
I saw 4 for Public Works.
yeah, there were 4 on there today, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
busy.
So I think it makes sense.
How, someone, you're paying that, is that a 10-year out of college experience, out of civil engineering?
You're saying what's the
school?
qualification for senior?
It's not a 10-year. Really, I think it's based on knowledge and what, experience and
Experience.
knowledge. Yeah.
And to you, it would be beneficial to have somebody who's already had that municipal experience
That's
as
right.
opposed to somebody coming from like a engineering firm that's
I
been
think
doing
so,
other
yeah,
work.
right. And doing what we do upstairs, a planning perspective is important also.
Mhm.
Somebody who can fill in some of those gaps and really understand what those folks do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Somebody unanimous on that one.
So that was it for 0113. I don't know if anybody has any questions about the other stuff. But there aren't a whole lot of changes. One of the highlights is a stormwater ordinance revision that we want to make that's necessary. ADEM wrote our stormwater ordinance 10 years ago, I think, and the city adopted it.
Yeah.
And it's time to go back to the drawing board and kind of recreate that entire monster
Will
and bring
we,
it through.
will we work with ADM again, or is that something that we'll craft, well, we, not me.
We'll
I say
send it
them.
to them and they'll say, this looks great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We won't work with them. No, we'll hire somebody. Mountain Brook just did this last year.
Okay.
They hired Shoal to do it.
Shoal to do, it, yeah.
And yeah, so that we intend to do the same thing.
Okay.
Just a quick question, just kind of reminder, no issue. The pavilion, where is that gonna be?
That's gonna be, he's gonna talk about that. Actually, that bid date is one of the bid dates he's talking about that's
Yeah.
getting ready to be.
I got like 35 things to talk about.
It's coming.
Pace
Settle in.
All right, so
Okay.
for bond money, and Lester can probably tell me if I'm explaining this correctly. I said this last night, I just imagine a bucket of money, and we have 2016, 2020, and 2021 government warrants that make up that bucket. We currently have a balance of about 4.2 million. So you see 1.8 million to be carried over and remaining to be paid. Those are all projects that have been approved. That includes the Green Springs revitalization project, which we moved out last night. I assume
Right.
it will be approved next week. So today, Melanie loves me when I do this. I was like, we gotta zero out that number and then move it to the other, to the column where we assume that it's gonna go forward.
Right, so we've moved out that 940.
It was like 1.1 on this.
Yeah, oh, that's right, with the 85.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's right.
So the 1.8 is not part of 4.2, it's from carryover from
No,
past
that's-
this year.
That's deducted from the 4.2.
The Green Springs project that the finance committee sent out last night, moved from next year's budget to really this year's budget.
Yeah.
You're almost gonna clean it out at the end of this year.
That's the intent, yeah,
We're getting close to needing to get it done.
that's right. Yeah, we need to spend that money. So then I was left with 2.4 million, and we've got to figure out a way to get to 2.4 million with a list of 35 projects that we know are probably gonna happen, because like John just said, we wanna spend the money. So we get pretty close here, with the Greenway Trailhead project that Carlos just mentioned. We currently have, a contract for the building that's gonna be shipped on a truck for $215,000. That money's encumbered.
Yeah.
And then $250 to assemble it and do the site work.
So, when, I know when we ordered it, it was like a 6 to 9 month lead time. Was that 6 months ago?
No, so it's a 14-week lead time when we say go.
Okay.
So as soon as we bid the project and everybody's cool with it, we're gonna say go. And then if the building, if my calendar works like it's supposed to, we'll do those things in October. The site work will start and the building will get here in January. Yeah.
And I can't remember, the bid date we're setting is for the rest of the trailhead.
For the, right, for
Work.
the site work and the assembly.
The assembly of the building,
That's
yes, yes.
Library Phase 4 renovation, we have already talked about that. That's Judith's Phase 4 project. The Waffle House parking lot, Mayor's already asked me to speed that up as fast as I can.
You gonna get out there and pave it yourself?
I don't, yeah, I'm not sure what more I can do. But we are, it's currently in design. We're gonna push on the designers and hopefully bid it as soon as possible.
Who's doing that? I can't remember who's doing that.
EDT is doing the
The
design,
design.
along with William Johnson, who's a landscape architect.
Yeah.
US 31 tunnel improvements, this is one that we postponed from earlier this year, right before school was about to start.
Mhm.
We're gonna do it,
Over the summer.
bid it in March, yeah, and do it over next summer. Fire station number 1 slab repair, I don't know if we've talked about this. You guys approved the design for the slab
Yeah,
a few months ago. That design is in. We've gotten a price for it. 95,000 is gonna cover it, and we're gonna do that as soon as.
because that slab had started to
Yeah,
deteriorate.
that's right. Yeah, it's cracking
From the
up.
weight of the, back to the tunnel improvements, that's not gonna be affected by anything that the PIG is doing, right?
It will all happen about the same time.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay,
actually-
we're gonna coordinate,
We think that it's going to coordinate well together.
Okay.
It'll take some work on both sides
Right.
to do that, but they've committed to try to make it as seamless
make
as
that,
possible.
okay, I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, that could get squirrely,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
It could, but I mean, there's a pretty clear line of, like, construction line where we're
Sure.
gonna stop and they're gonna.
They're
pick
gonna
up.
take over, right.
And the hope is, and what they're thinking is that by the time we hit May, when this will, May-ish, when this will
Kickoff.
start, they'll be done with that wall on that side. So then doing the landscaping and the tunnel improvements at once should be relatively easy because by that point, they'll be working hopefully in the store.
Okay.
And the last thing is fire station number 2. We went through an RFQ process for A&E Architects and Engineering Services.
Yes.
A few months ago, we selected Birchfield Peniel. That contract is on the referral agenda, I think, Monday night.
Yep.
For $693,875. So we budgeted that here. This is for the future fire station number 2 on Green Springs.
And that is just for the design and the
The design
engineering.
service,
Right.
that's right.
Cause the thought is that if hopefully construction prices don't go through the roof again, we're talking about 10 million probably for the construction of the firehouse.
That's right. And that's what, in several minutes, you'll see that we have 5 million budgeted in future years.
Yeah.
So 5 million across 2 years.
Right.
To make 10 million.
Yeah. All right, so that those projects total up to that 2.418?
2.4, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep, with almost 2 million being carried over.
sure.
Yeah, so that's it for the bond money. Now we'll talk about capital, Brian. All right, let me explain this quickly, or not quickly, it won't be quick. The top revenues, I want to talk about those. Central Avenue Tap Sidewalk Project, that's the one down here. We're going to talk about this one a little more in a second. But this is an 80-20 match with AlDOT. So we're going to end up paying $600,000 this year. It's probably going to be a multi-year project. We pay $600,000 to the contractor, and then AlDOT's going to send us $480,000.
Okay.
So that shows up in the revenues. The HUD grant is the Congresswoman Sewell's appropriation
Yeah.
that got funneled through HUD, and we will pay the contractor, and then we'll pull that money down. So that's a 1-to-1. So we've got 500 here in expenses and 500 in revenues.
It's $1 million total though, right?
It's $1 million total. It's gonna be a mess, like, the whole thing is.
This is why we wanted to hire the grants person to help us
That's right.
organize the grant funds.
Yeah, and so that it's gonna, we have it in 2 years.
Okay.
Multi-year. And that's why some of these in yellow
Bless you.
are in yellow. The ones in yellow mean that they are multi-year projects, that we have budgeted for them in multiple years. And then the DDI, we have submitted an invoice to Jefferson County. They came back with an intergovernmental agreement that is on the referral agenda Monday night. And so hopefully we'll receive that check in early to mid-October
That's great.
from them.
And that kind of, because we submitted our check for 5.8, and that million will basically take that down to 4.8.
That's right. Yeah.
Once we receive that money,
Which, and they committed to doing that a year ago.
Right.
So,
which we were very thankful for.
all right, so now what's gonna happen is the ones in green are projects that projects that show up in the capital budget that I'm gonna describe in words. And then I'm gonna sit down here at my laptop and go through all the rest of them, because
Okay.
they all have pretty pictures. So bridge inspections are bridge inspections. We do that every other year in September. 2026 is gonna be the year that we have to do it, is 25,000. Crosswalks and traffic calming, that number has been that way for a couple of years now. We do use that money to put in RRFBs and crosswalks whenever it makes sense to place one. The comprehensive plan, we have budgeted $100,000. That is an 80-20 split from the grant that we received, Building Communities Grant, I think it's called, from the Regional Planning Commission, where they're paying 80% of it. So I think we're just gonna end up writing them a check for whatever 20% of the consultant fee is for this. Creek wall emergencies and stormwater emergencies, these are more than what we typically budget, the 150,000 for each, but we seem to have a lot of creek walls and a lot of stormwater emergencies. That's about the amount of money that we spend annually.
And I honestly, Cale, I would rather make the number realistic
Right.
than have
Having
you
to
and
come
Berkeley
back.
have to keep coming back and saying, we had another creek wall fail, and this time it took down a pool.
Seemed like the
Yeah.
one that was up near behind Brookwood, that was going up to the retirement deal was 450,000. That's my number, I remember.
That was like 6 years.
Oh, that was that
Yeah.
pipe replacement, yeah.
That
was
yeah.
that long ago.
That was
the
before,
street.
that was before.
That was
It
before.
like
Before your
six-
time?
it was.
Yeah, that was
Seemed like
before
it was
Cale
last
got here.
month. All right.
No, that was in
I'm
a,
just saying that was one,
I mean,
18 or
Yeah.
one emergency
I
that
don't
we
know.
ran into.
yeah, yeah. No, so I appreciate you putting in a realistic number, because I don't think there's any reason putting in 50,000 and then having you have to come back every time something fails, because those creek walls are old.
And you'll see some in here, like, we'll get to them, but like the stormwater on Overton Drive, like some of these projects, we should be able to handle like kind of right on the spot, because they're small infrastructure projects. And we could possibly use some stormwater emergency money for some of
Some of
these
that.
others that we're calling capital now. Sidewalk repairs, we have $50,000 in there. We use that money every year.
And does that encompass, or is that a separate line item for our continued ADA upgrades to sidewalks? Because we've been trying to make sidewalks accessible that aren't necessarily accessible now.
That's right.
So is that money is also that?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
We use that to put in ramps.
Right.
Berkeley has sidewalk money, he uses it.
Yeah.
We basically just kind of share.
Share.
Talk back and forth about what's on the priority list, and
Yeah.
Is that enough? I mean, I'm just asking in terms of, because of the things you're mentioning, and we built sidewalks, they're not all ADA compliant, and there's still projects pending.
Yeah. I mean, the good news, everything that we've built recently is
Yes,
ADA compliant. It's
yeah.
the
I'm saying
old
like the
stuff.
old one,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right.
But this sidewalk money is different from the 80, don't we have a separate, or we've had a separate 88
No.
pot? No?
It's always
It's
been
in
this.
repairs, yeah, and it all functions out of that.
yeah. And Berkeley is doing a lot of work in-house now.
Yeah.
With his own forces.
Yeah, I'll tell you that I think most of that 50 ends up getting done for ADA. Because most of the other stuff is really handled through something else. Most of this money ends up being ADA either because we're doing a repair project that happens to be near something that needs a ramp, so when we repair it, we go ahead and do the ramp. Or all these times where it comes up at, as we've done every month or so, where we're doing something, someone says, hey, we need an ADA ramp there. And that's usually, that's where this money comes in. So I would tell you that most of that 50 gets used for ADA.
So this is not really new sidewalk money?
It is not in all new sidewalk.
Yeah, I think we
That's
basically,
fine.
every
right,
year,
right.
It is
yeah.
not at all new sidewalk.
Which is fair, it's called sidewalk repairs.
Yeah,
Not-
no,
Not,
yeah,
new sidewalks.
it
but-
is all of that money is going towards existing sidewalks, either to
Understood.
repair something or ADA, but most of it goes to ADA.
And I will say, I'll ask this question, and this might help clear that up. Kale, I would guess that the new sidewalk money is probably gonna show up in Berkeley's, Public Works budget, or do you have it
For the
here?
ones that he does, for the ones that he does in-house,
Yeah.
we have some that we'll talk
Yeah.
about in a minute, that,
Okay.
like sidewalk cars, there was one or two more, I think.
Yeah, there was one down
There's
there.
Malaga.
Yeah, Malaga.
Malaga, yeah, so we'll talk about those in a second. Those are capital, those are new
Big,
sidewalk
yeah,
projects
yeah,
that
okay.
aren't included in that 50.
Whatever Berkeley had last year, that's what was being carried forward this year.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't going to be talked to specifically unless you wanted it to be upgraded, which we could do a line item discussion on.
And we can do that when he's here on Thursday.
Okay. Senior center conversion, Berkeley wants to do renovations and some addition work at the senior center, so the 500 covers architectural and engineering services. We haven't been through an RFQ process there.
Yeah, and I'll speak to that too, in that, so originally, Berkeley was thinking that this project would actually fully be included for the 25-26 budget, but he had another thing that really needs to kind of supersede this, because this is something that I think is gonna take a little bit of time, because it's really gonna kind of be a reimagining situation. So we are gonna do some preliminary design work to start that thought process, but the actual project is probably not gonna hit until next year's budget or
That's
maybe
right,
even after.
yeah, the construction of it is budgeted in the same years, I think, as the fire station is budgeted.
Over 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna,
over 2 years.
but we are gonna start talking about a dog park.
And Public Works building renovation is the project that you were talking about for
Yes.
Berkeley.
Yes.
Is a $2 million project at his current Public Works facility. He's got a metal building. They just did a whole bunch of metal building work in Alabaster for about $5 million. And Berkeley and I are gonna go look at that work tomorrow.
It looks really good.
And tour it with Fred. So that'll be fun. I think we're gonna be able to get a lot more for $2 million than Berkeley thinks we're gonna be able to get.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about this. I mean, I've been to Alabaster and seen what they've done, and it looks really nice, and they're able to cover all of their equipment, and, you know, it just extends the life cycle.
And that's the reason this jumped over the senior center, is because Berkeley's equipment has literally been uncovered outdoors, and it's just not, the life cycle of that equipment is not lasting as long as it should have, because it's not protected from the elements, so.
Like mowers and trucks and all that.
Exactly, so this will get everything under a roof, so that it will hopefully extend the lives of those pieces of equipment that he uses
When is
every
the
day.
senior center conversion, or what are we doing there?
It's just gonna be,
That's
I
the
mean,
design
I
work.
mean, there's no specific ideas right now, but there's so much property over there.
Oh,
It's,
I'm
it's,
excited. I just
yeah,
wanna-
No, I don't think,
Yeah,
there's no
this is-
real specific
right.
ideas
That
yet.
structure a little bit anyway, and so it's yet to be determined exactly.
Yeah,
What the scope is.
What the scope
of it will
is,
be,
but-
But there's some work that's gonna be needed, so it's time to, in the next year or so, talk about what that scope's gonna be.
yeah,
Like
so they can start
roofs.
thinking about like where they wanna
Where they're putting
expand,
it.
and going out front, going out back, all the things.
I do have a slide on the pickleball court, so I'm gonna skip that.
Yeah.
And then the light pole, so if you remember, on 18th Street, we painted the light poles up here on the corner of 29th and 18th.
Mhm.
And they looked amazing and really spruced up the area. So it was about, I think, 8,000 per pole to do it. And so we have identified about 16 poles in Edgewood to do the same thing.
Yeah, if you drive around, you don't notice it until you start looking at them, and you look at the painted ones and the non-painted ones. The non-painted ones look horrible.
Well, it's kinda like the
compared
old
to
street signs.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, why didn't we do this before?
Yeah, I really do think it will make a significant difference,
Yeah.
once it's done.
And then the creek wall in Irving and Evergreen, we did some work so it's actually in somebody's backyard. It is certainly a creek. They had a wall failure maybe 3 years ago, and we came in and rebuilt a portion of it, and now another section is failed. But this is a real price for that. So
So this doesn't come out of the creek wall emergencies,
that
this is
doesn't
a
come out
little
of,
separate.
And so now I'm gonna jump on here and walk through all the ones that aren't highlighted in green. We did a stormwater master plan a couple of years ago, and we had a lot of projects shake out from that. We had 5 really that were prioritized. One was Kenilworth. We finished that this year. That's the only one that we've been able to do. And that was really intrusive and complicated. Got a lot of people really, really excited with city officials.
That was such a nice way to say it.
Anyway, we are now, everybody on Hillwood loves us, and they're finished, and so everybody's happy. So, but now it's time to go to other parts of Edgewood where the study was done, and begin to look at some of these things that were identified in the master plan. So this is a multi-year project, $200,000 to sort of zoom in on the area between the playground at Edgewood and Griffin Brook Creek. This is going to take a lot of people out of the potential from being flooded.
Wow.
This is I think I already said this. This is a multi-year project, so you'll see it in 26, 27 that we have more money budgeted for it. So this is really just design. This is another one on Melrose, Kenilworth, Primrose, Laurel. This is just relocating or adding new infrastructure and rerouting it to the creek.
Okay, so is this because, I think I sent you the pictures that day that the creek was overflowing right there at Kenilworth. Will this help with that maybe? I mean, I know that was an extraordinary situation, but.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. And I think it will once we design and get into the nuts and bolts of how to make it better for everybody that lives on the upstream side of the bridge.
Right.
Because the bridge is kind of a bottleneck.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Don't overreact to this.
Yes, please.
So I drew this like 2 years ago, and we shopped it around, and then we talked about parking downtown and all these things. So what it's really become, I think, is a pedestrian safety project to cross safely, so you not have this weird triangle thing. Pedestrian safety and additional parking in front of the Track Shack and Mama Goldberg's. And also a beautification project that the beautification board is working on with Lorberbaum McNair. They're also on the design team for this project. The first thing Eric McNair said was, you got to get rid of those parking spaces because they will kill all the trees that are out there. So these parking spaces are going to go away. I don't know what is going to happen here. But this is just a concept. This is actually being designed by somebody who is much smarter than I am. There's a garbage truck issue that Scott Cook's trying to help me figure out here in this alley. We would love to close off the alley, but I'm not sure that that's possible. Counselor Andrus and I were walking down the sidewalk with a guy who was saying that it didn't need to be closed off, and he almost got hit by a car coming out of the alley.
And a mom pushing a stroller.
And a mom pushing a
irony.
stroller. Yeah, so just know that this is in design. It will be bid later this winter, and we have $350,000 estimated.
Can I ask, I'm not overreacting,
Sure.
but I'm just asking questions because I'm trying to figure out what all the little lines mean. So, over here where the white car, over on the left-hand side,
Over here?
in front of, yes, yes. Does that mean that there is gonna be sidewalk or concrete coming out to where that black line is?
That's what that means in this, that's what I represent in this.
In this,
I don't
okay.
know that that's actually gonna happen.
Okay, but this is just a concept of what it might be.
That's
And
right.
then straightening up the crosswalks, which 1,000% makes sense. And then what you're saying is that the curve would come out a little bit further from
That's
where
right.
it currently is.
Yep, just to try to get this, just to try to make it less of a distance for a pedestrian to cross.
Sure, yeah, make it shorter.
Yes, sir.
That's a question. All along there, on the right side, where you're putting all those new parking spaces, those pavers are not doing great because of the trees.
In front of the Track Shack?
Yeah, are
Yeah.
we thinking of doing something different while we're doing this big
Oh,
project?
100%, yeah, that's part of this project, that's what I said. So this is part of the beautification board's plan, is to look at this area and figure out how to make it better.
Because those are dangerous.
Right. That's why we're working on it.
Okay. I
We're
just
gonna
didn't
make
hear
it
you
look
say
great.
anything about those
Yeah.
pavers that I've been concerned about for about 2 years.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's gonna kind of, I think, like you said, it's gonna be a combination of the city and then the beautification board kind of
That's right.
coming together to make all that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the intent of that plan too is much more than the board, right? I mean, they're kind of, you know, had a concept there to come up with a plan, but really it's gonna take implementation with Public Works and other departments, because the goal is that some of the landscaping is better in context, you know, for downtown, and also that you don't have issues down the road, like you're saying, John, with materials used in that landscape.
Right. Yeah, I imagine all this gets reimagined and becomes something totally different than what it is now.
And more parking downtown.
And additional parking. TAP project.
Oh, yeah.
So this is will be on the agenda in the next few weeks to set a bid date for this. It's an LDOT project, and those tend to last a little longer than they should. So, I think it's gonna be a multi-year project, but we're pretty close. We have the plans, we have the specs. We just gotta set a bid date and advertise it.
And can you just run us through?
What it is?
Yeah.
So the
Oops, whoa.
the RRFB that's in front of the battery,
Yeah,
the project starts there on
Okay.
the opposite side of the road.
so you cross over to the.
Right, so
whatever
you
that
cross over and you
co-working
start there,
place
yep.
is. Yeah.
And it's a multi-path, 7.5 foot multi-use path is what they're calling it. Sidewalk, bikes can use it. It's just a really big sidewalk, really, is what we're talking about. And then when we get next to the creek, we're at 10 feet wide. So
Okay.
that is for bike, so you can ride a bike, when we get done with this, you'll be able to ride a bike safely or walk safely on a sidewalk from Central Park to Spring Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course it goes by the Dance Foundation and then down the next block.
Is there any beautification of the creek?
There is some, yeah. I think there's some trees, there's certainly lighting. Yeah.
And isn't Regional Planning Commission in the middle of this also, that
In the
that's
middle
how
of
we
this?
got this grant, was through them?
We got a TAP grant through them, yeah.
Yeah, and so how does Aldott get in the middle of it? Because it's,
That's
Because it's
That's
TAP
who does
funds.
it.
It's
That's the grant.
traffic
Funding, yeah.
alternative.
Transportation
Transportation
alternatives.
alternative,
program.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So Aldott, I think, John, distributes TAP funding to cities that don't have a metro area, and then in our case, we go through the Metro Planning Commission to get our funds through their grant process.
That's right. And usually what happens is Aldott will award like 4 TAP grants in our MPO, and then our MPO will award 2 TAP grants. So ours got rejected by Aldott, and then the MPO awarded the grant, but Aldott's still involved. It's, yeah.
And I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but once you get to Spring Park, you can then access the sidewalks on 18th Street that actually will take you all the way up to Vulcan, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
And we'd like to eventually, this isn't in the budget, but
Yeah.
I imagine a next phase of a TAP grant project, figuring out how to get to from Spring Park up to the connection at Vulcan more safely.
Maybe do some additional work on that, because that sidewalk, I
Right.
mean, it's right on the road.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, so there could be some stuff
And there are other ways to
Get there.
up there also,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
through the Board of
Through the
Education.
neighborhood, Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
I know everybody loves these. Back to stormwater. This is probably the lowest hanging of the fruit that came out of our master plan. I'm not sure why we didn't do this one first. But I imagine that we can design and build this one on next year. This is Bellevue Circle in Somerset. Valley is up here, Claremont is up here. There's a ton of stormwater that runs off this mountain onto all there is this little creek that runs behind these folks' houses. And some of them have covered it over time. Anyway, every single one of these houses has a flooding issue every time it rains. And so we're gonna intercept some of that stormwater and reroute it around through the right of way.
To connect to the creek?
Yeah,
Down
right,
to a
that's
different
right.
spot?
That's right.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. And you think that's possible all within?
I think that's
within the
possible all
25,
within.
20 within the 25, 26
I
budget?
do. All right, I'm gonna try something here. Look at that. Sidewalk between Columbiana and Green Springs along Carr Avenue. This is a missing piece in our network. We've done all the work on Green Springs. Columbiana, we just did some projects behind the edge, or a project behind the edge. This cleans up and provides connectivity between Green Springs and Broadway.
That's all in right away.
It is. There's gonna be some curb work that has to be done. And it may not look as pretty as some of the other ones because the Salvation Army, whoever developed that property, not them, but pushed their curb all the way up against our right of way.
Right.
And potentially beyond. So we're gonna have to work through some of those issues, but,
And I assume that red line that's covering the actual entrance into the parking lot, that's just gonna be a crosswalk?
that's right.
Okay.
Yep. City Hall workroom renovation.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So this is in the room where we're sitting. And I'm gonna let Glenn speak to this, but imagine Melanie and the mayor and JJ all sitting in one of these office spaces right now.
Yeah, instead of an open,
And
So we were kind of looking at an L shape right here. And so it leaves some table space if it's still needed. And wouldn't touch over here, there'd be some space right here. The concept is, thankfully I have an engineer on staff who was able to figure out that it would be much more expensive to build a structure than to just put in cubicles. And so this is the rooms we need for an HR director, HR analyst, and a communications director, and a room for just having the HR type meetings that you'd have to have one-on-one with counselor. So that's what that's looking at right there.
And the price we got back was cheaper than this 146 number that we thought it was gonna be.
Oh, nice.
I'm still waiting to get another price back from another company. But yeah, we feel good about the money for this. And of course, if this gets passed, then we would, I guess, start building that out pretty quickly.
okay.
You get that stuff for free in certain offices around town.
Yeah. I'll let you call Berkeley and tell him he's gotta install that stuff.
Yeah, right. You gotta uninstall it
Uninstall it first,
Uninstall it,
yeah. Go pick it up first.
And the last sidewalk project on this page is the sidewalk between Malaga along Hollywood to the cemetery where our municipal boundary ends. The cemetery's right here, that's City of Birmingham. That section of sidewalk is important to an overall Jefferson County cooperative project that I'll let Jennifer talk about.
So, Hollywood Boulevard Bridge.
Jennifer Anderson
Everybody's
Memorial
favorite thing to
Bridge.
talk about.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
We have made it again in Senator Britt's appropriations for $4 million. We made it further, and now we're just waiting for the budget to pass by the end of this month. But in order to use federal dollars, we have to have a sidewalk by the cemetery, which is in Birmingham, and the county is the lead on this project. And our county manager has spent months meeting with our friends at the cemetery, and they have done $25,000 worth of drainage work for the cemetery, and the cemetery is on board, which is a huge thing. Everyone that was here in 2011 will tell you that was. That's a huge part of why it's taken as long as it's taken. But thank you, Cal Marker, and his gentle, loving personality. They love him, and he has been really respectful of them and worked very hard with them, and put the drainage work in. And now the cooperative, of which Peter Wright and I are still representatives of, we have about $550,000 left in our budget, and we will be using that to build the sidewalk that this is going to connect to the bridge, and then the city of Mountain Brook is gonna pick up a little bit in Mountain Brook. And to have those two sidewalks, now we can use federal dollars to build our bridge.
Are you saying that we're gonna use the 550 in the city of Birmingham's?
Yeah, our 550 is, yes, the cooperative 550, not anything to do with the city of Homewood. This is
Yeah,
money
we're
that
gonna
we
do the
raised
25.
from different
Yeah, yeah, I got
representatives
it
and
now.
different,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got it.
And so, back in 2018.
Yeah.
And so, we will be using our money to build, we being the cooperative, the sidewalk in the city of Birmingham. The county's gonna take the lead on that project. We, the city of Homewood, I gotta change hats during all the conversation, we, the city of Homewood, will be connecting to that sidewalk to bring us back into our sidewalk here and the crosswalk here. So
And
it'll
then
just be
Mountain
one
Brook.
continual move, you
Right.
know, people can move and it's just, you know,
And then Mountain Brook will take it up on the,
yep, on the
On the
mountain
the
other
Mexican
side.
side, yeah, the
Yep.
Mexican restaurants, yeah.
That's right, yep. So, it's only taken 15 years so far.
15 more to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well said.
We're moving, we are moving.
All right,
Slowly.
Creek Wall, Kenilworth, and Primrose. This map comes from a Creek Wall Conditions Assessment Study that we did 2 or 3 years, back in 2023, where engineers walked from Salter all the way up to Central Park and identified the condition of the walls and all the locations and graded them urgency and high urgency and immediate, moderate, low, represented in colors. So the plan over the next couple of years is to start using this to go and attack some of these problematic areas where we have them, and hopefully we won't be chasing failing creek walls down the creek over the next decade, which is what we have been doing. We've been able to knock off some of these, specifically down Broadway this year. We've done a significant amount of creek wall work. This one is a project here on the corner of Kenilworth and Primrose. Failing creek wall, the guy's backyard is caving in, that kind of thing. So we're gonna shore it up.
Hold on, wait.
Sorry.
Can you go back one?
Yep.
Brian, can you go back one? And then this purple section down here,
This purple section?
that purple section and this purple section. So
This-
that's the one that you're talking about.
Yep, this is the section I'm talking about.
Okay, up there. How about this one down there?
We're praying for this one right now. that it just stays in place. Access is really hard here.
Okay. Help me where that might be.
So,
Okay, there's Linwood.
Yep.
Okay.
Roseland.
Yeah.
I think Trey's
That's that
house is
creek
right, or
behind.
Fletcher's
The
house.
Goals- okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
right
yeah,
around the corner.
yeah, okay.
We did some work along this area, so.
Right.
1523 just got built, I think it was under construction.
Mhm.
We came back here and did a lot of this work,
Okay.
so.
So we're just hoping that it kind of hangs.
So
on.
I made that up. We're good here. Sorry, I forgot where we were. Yes, we're good here.
We'll shift our
We've already-
prayers elsewhere.
We've already made that correction.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yep. 1523 was under construction. We had access, so we went back there and did that project.
Got it.
316 Overton. This has been a problem since I've been here. They call me out about once a year. And the problem is with this little blue line. What the blue line represents is a small open channel drainage ditch between two houses that always gets inundated with water from rooftops and driveways and stormwater runoff. Comes through here and it doesn't drain correctly, properly, and it ends up flooding everybody's backyards downstream. We have a storm pipe that's in red, and we have an easement around that storm pipe, and there's an inlet here in this driveway that doesn't collect any water. So the solution is to redirect some downspouts that the homeowner's gonna do, and then lower that inlet, make sure that the driveway's graded towards it to take off some of the stormwater from the blue line.
Is that right at the intersection of Oxmoor and?
It's not,
Okay, this is
it's
further
further
down.
down Overton.
It's halfway
Halfway
between
down?
Oxmoor and the park.
Okay.
Yep. And this similar issue, significant amount of water comes off the alley on Forest and Morris, onto Edgeland Place and floods this guy's house, and what doesn't flood him comes down and floods these folks. So we're gonna add some inlets and some infrastructure and tie them into the existing culvert that runs down Edgeland Place. These are all projects that have been identified over the past couple of years that are pretty easy to solve. Try this. All right, sidewalks and the right turn lane on Cobb Street. We got the survey back, and you'll see that Cobb Street doesn't exist in the middle of the right-of-way. It exists totally to the west side of the right-of-way. So, oh man, sorry. So there's plenty of room to put a sidewalk on the east side of Cobb Street. So the plan is to put a sidewalk connected to Raleigh, so folks that live down Kent and live at Chastain can get to Hall Kent on a sidewalk. The survey has been done, the design has not been done yet. And then the turn lane, the right turn lane at Cobb is gonna have some AlDOT involvement, and we just gotta dig into that and design both of these. So we have money budgeted for both this year.
And do you foresee any kind of problem with the right turn lane with LDOT?
I don't, but you
You
never know, yeah.
And you said, I think we need 6, 7 feet, something like that, in that general area,
For a sidewalk?
for the end of Cobb, like width-wise,
Turn lane.
for the turn lane.
Oh, to add the turn lane?
You mean,
Like additional kind of work to pave over, it's.
oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just something we've gotta,
Sure. Well, I would just wanted to thank Cale for, obviously both of these items we talked about. And we were looking at, I think, the turn lane first, but Cale obviously said, let's go ahead and do the survey to encompass all of it at one time. Obviously,
That's a big deal, especially being able to connect to the school.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
And the apartments.
Because that's always been our goal with the sidewalks, is to get them to the
And-
schools first.
and
so.
the other thing too about this is that, with the West Road development, there is sidewalk along part of Cobb, so this potentially helps to tie in to that side as well.
Yeah, for people walk safely all the way to the developments, to the apartments, and to the school.
that's right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of those gaps in the network that are important.
Yeah.
And it's low hanging fruit now with.
That's right.
Being close to the school and all too.
Yep. Creek Wall Project 4. So this is, as you come down Edgewood Boulevard and you make the turn, this is Hillwood.
Yeah.
This whole area is failing and is in bad shape.
Yeah, it is.
So this is a multi-year project, probably bid it and then let them start later in the spring and then just go.
And does that encompass that part up here too? The purple?
It, up here?
Further? No, up that way.
Oh, up here?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it doesn't.
That's not part of that.
No. The way we broke these out was really for access, like how are they gonna get in the creek? How's the contractor gonna get in the creek?
Mhm.
And then how much can they fix when they're in the creek in that location?
Yeah.
Like, so for here, they would have to go under the bridge to get to that purple area,
Mhm.
and so they aren't able to do that. So this is a totally different.
Totally separate thing.
That's
Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
We talked about this last night.
Oh, yeah.
We had $75,000 budgeted for it. Of course, that's not gonna happen
Right.
based on what was sent out to council last night.
Mhm.
But I do wanna keep about 30 or 40,000 in there for the relocation of pedestrian
The crosswalks.
signals. I think that's important.
So, yeah, because not everybody was here last night at committees. The bulb out is not gonna happen because they determined that prevented trucks from being able to make that turn. But we are relocating the crosswalk that runs into the ice cream parking lot directly into the back of a parking space, down further on the other side of the intersection.
The square.
Yeah, right there. And then then we're also gonna relocate those flashing crossing lights
Right.
to match that. But that, so that, you think $30,000 will
I think so.
be sufficient for that?
We did this similar work at Trinity.
Yes.
At that intersection.
Right.
Where we had Stone Electric come in and rewire everything, and then
Yeah.
the sidewalks got built. So I think so.
Okay,
It's 35 for the one at Macy's and Windsor Drive. That was 35.
yeah.
The one to, to get a ped light,
Oh, I don't, that was before my time.
it was 35.
But we do think we're gonna have a ped light there, right?
Oh, yeah, 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 yes, because
Okay.
that, the one that's already there is just moving.
That's in your budget.
Yeah.
That's what he's
Right.
talking about, relocating
Relocating
it and
that.
having costs to do that.
But I mean,
Oh,
I
that's
assume the
because Stone
cost is with
Electric
the
doing that.
wiring,
Okay.
because the wiring has
That's
to
right.
go into the ground and,
That's right.
yeah.
Yep.
Counselor Smith as well, and Kettle, will there be 3 new curb cuts for this project for ADA compliance?
At least 2.
Will you build that into the same line item or just
Mhm.
pull from the other one? Okay,
Yep.
great. Yeah, I would say just go ahead and put it in this project budget.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're saying, great, okay.
Yeah, we would do the whole cost of the project would come out of this.
Good.
And just to clarify this drawing too, for anybody that wasn't here, the north crosswalk is actually gonna be squared up and a
Yeah.
little bit
Yep.
further away from the.
Yeah, it's gonna be
intersection.
back here.
Yeah. Do you think, so, I'll ask again, if we're relocating the flashing lights, which we know are gonna have to have wiring into the ground, and we're relocating the the crosswalk, which is gonna necessitate some curb cuts to put in ADA compliant ramps to those sidewalks, do you think you can do all that with $30,000? Because that seems like maybe not with me. I mean, I know Randy can do a lot of it, and Berkeley can do a lot of the work, but,
Yeah, I mean, if you want, we can leave 75,000 in the budget, which currently exists in the budget, and then just get, I'm sure, look,
listen, I think I would just leave the 75 in.
perfect.
Yep.
Just to be safe.
We've said, all the projects are coming to the council anyway to
Sure.
approve the
Right, yeah.
bit of,
Don't look at it,
or
all that.
funding
That's
for it,
fine.
contracts.
Yeah.
Here's one, this is a project that is from the Stormwater Master Plan that is intrusive and invasive and would get
favorite kind.
similar to Kenilworth, so I prefer not to do one of those again this year.
Mhm.
What we can do, though, to help solve this problem, and it's a pretty significant problem, is go ahead and add beefier inlets along East Glenwood
Okay.
and connect to an existing pipe. It is the horseshoe.
Okay.
Yep. And so if in the future, if that solution doesn't work, then those inlets will still be necessary for the future.
Whatever happens, yeah. So essentially for this one, we're not doing any kind of repiping or adding or anything like that. We're just gonna add some additional inlets.
That's right. Yep.
Please to start with.
I'm sure the people on,
At least to start with.
yeah, East Glenwood will be pleased with that.
210 Point Sienna Stormwater Project. I know John and Jenna are here and Wade is here. I'm gonna have Glenn and I guess Jenna talk about this project, but just to kind of set it up, I can scroll in to the aerial. So this is at 210 Point Sienna, which is located here. They have all of these backyards and everything from Hollywood drains into a ditch that runs behind all of these properties and ends up in their backyard. And then is piped into a pipe that's not nearly the size that it needs to be onto the next property and over into Point Sienna, eventually into our stormwater network. The proposed solution would be, get back to this, would be to probably add in pipes where I've drawn in red to intercept some of that water that's in the creek behind their house and to route it into our stormwater infrastructure earlier, making it bigger. Wade is the engineer. He provided all of the topography and survey information.
Well, can I ask Wade a question?
Can I ask you a question, Jaime?
Yep.
Is the, my question is this city property?
It is not.
It is not, okay.
No, what I would explain is couple of previous projects that Kale's talked about is you have stormwater running down behind numbers of properties, right? And it sometimes, you know, that's just happening in an open ditch and that gets overwhelmed.
Sure.
And it happens in those, how do I say, larger rainfall events that happen less frequently than the showers that we get. And so what happens here is you have that same scenario. Runoff runs down off Hollwood through private properties and into an inlet that is in that lower corner right there, yes.
Oh, okay, fine.
And, you know, kind of, it's been there forever.
Sure.
The pipe that's coming out of that inlet that goes across the property line and out to Poinciana
Yeah.
is collapsed.
Okay.
It's old. It was put in, you know, 100 years ago. I mean, there's a manhole in the street that
That's a great
reads
question.
the city of Hollywood on the manhole casting. That's to show you how old it is.
Okay.
So this is an effort to take that water that is coming from Poinciana's right of way, other private properties between, Hollywood's right of way, other private properties between Hollywood and the subject property, and get it out into the street, into existing stormwater. And, you know, with the alignment as the red line shown on the plan, you have an opportunity to put it in an easement where it can be, you know, it's open, that part of the lot right there is open, where it is maintainable or not. You know, that part could be private or, you know, that's yet to be worked out, I guess. So that's the scenario.
In the pipe that's collapsed,
Mhm.
is it in city property? I'm sorry, I'm just
No,
trying to
ma'am.
get,
None
everything
of-
is,
None of the pipes in this scenario are in public property
Okay.
until it gets out to
To
the existing
up
pipes
there on
that are in Poinciana.
Poinciana, yeah.
That I would also argue are probably undersized.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Or maybe-
So I just want to make sure, the current drainage that you're talking about, that this would replace and improve, that current drainage is not the city's drainage?
That is correct.
Okay. So tell me if this is analogous, because I'm thinking it is, but I'm not an engineer. So we had a property on Ridge Road that collected runoff from Ridge, Wellington, and Kensington. It all collected in their backyard. And so they were doing the same thing, trying to get that water to the stormwater pipe. Is that essentially what this is?
You know, I guess that is essentially what's happening here. You have a condition that runoff that contributes to this problem comes from both public right-of-way, Hollywood Boulevard.
Right.
Comes off Hollywood, and then that runoff commingles, intertwines, whatever you want to say, in the private property between Hollywood and where this is.
Yeah, so that one actually had it coming off of Ridge,
Mhm.
off the public,
Mhm.
off of Ridge, and it had it coming from Wellington, coming down the yards, and Kensington coming down the yards, and some Ridge. There's a huge piece of property back there that's undeveloped, that's in the middle of that triangle, and a lot of it was coming off of that. That's private property. And so what they did was, they did something similar to this and tied into, because they had to come and ask for permission to do it. And they tied into our stormwater drain, or stormwater pipe, excuse me. And it seemed to solve the problem. And they spent a ton of money doing it. But that was my question as to whether or not this was a similar thing to that, because that happened, I can't remember, y'all remember 4 years ago?
At least.
Something. And
More, it's before my time.
probably
It was
was.
the Swatex. Yeah, the Swatex
But it
house
was,
that's
yeah.
right there at the intersection. intersection.
It was
of
right there where
Roseland meets
Ridge meets Ridge. It was in their backyard.
That big red brick
and-
house.
Well, in some of their front yard, coming off of there. And so we did sort of help them by allowing them to tie into our pipe and our system and give them the ability to do that, which of course then increased the amount coming through that pipe. And so that, I think that would be a consideration for us, is if that were done here, we may, if y'all figured out that we needed a bigger pipe, then, you know, the city might need a bigger pipe there. But usually when we've had this situation in the past, the homeowner has done what I'm understanding to be this part that would then tie into our part. Am I saying that right, from an engineering's perspective? If this is private and that part is
Right.
public up there?
That's right.
Okay.
And yes, that is, you're correct. And
Okay.
I've also seen it where, you know, there's been a need for stormwater infrastructure
Sure.
placed in an easement dedicated to city, but what you're saying is absolutely correct.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that what you're proposing is
Sure.
even unreasonable
Yeah.
necessarily. I get why you would be proposing it. I just want everyone to understand that this issue has come up before in other places and have the history of what we did.
And I will say, I have loved the Dorlands, and literally, we've been talking about this since y'all moved into that house, how many years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And I do have some heartburn, concern, and again, it's not gonna be me, but, about the possible precedent this sets for paying for work on private property, then how do you say no to the next person who comes and says, because I have 2 residents I know for sure that live actually on Ridge, who've had a lot of flooding problems, and it makes me concerned that other people might be, oh, well, the city's paying for repairs on private property now, so let's jump on that train. I don't know. I mean, again, I won't be the person who's gonna have to make those decisions, but I do have some concern that that could potentially be an issue that might happen.
So I'm the cause of all this, and I will talk to the reason why it's even up here is, when I first came out and I saw it, of course I saw the water problems and videos. The first thing is cutting a line across multiple properties, and the fact that this was a residential development that was approved by a different city that existed in 1920. And so, you know, that company isn't here to fix the situation. Having to cut across 2 properties creates another problem for legal being able to get anything done. The solution that I saw, and granted, I'm not an engineer, but I played one in the Army for 26 years, and the best solution I saw was up here, cutting in and tapping into a location that's high enough above ground that you can go across again, now 2 properties, but at a higher point to get all the further drainage. And so when this concept came up, this is a better concept, I will grant that, but it wasn't the one that I saw, and I don't see a solution for this. And this is the reason why I said, okay, I can bring it to the council and let them make the decision. Because yes, we are gonna have more people in a situation that they're not gonna be able to solve it. And I do know, as you look at all these properties up here, several of them had improvements, several of them put water back into the ditch. And it's a responsibility that they should have to go to the north. And when we do this new ordinance that I wanna do, you can't put on to other people, and then it's enforceable by us. Right now, it's a civil lawsuit by the way the things are done. The goal with that be is you can't cause additional harm to people by putting drainage in. You have to be able to store it, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to solve at a city level something that was created literally over 100 years by another organization that had nothing to do with what turned into Homewood. So I'm not trying to sit here and play a game on anybody. I'm just giving the background of where we are. I believe we can do this in other places, cheaper and easier than other people can do it. And there's probably a lot of people who will benefit from it. And the only thing that I really want to say, and I get this 100%, is just like I was talking about precedents when we brought up the drainage ditch, the wall repair and all that other stuff. We have capabilities that we can leverage at our levels that other people can't level, that the individual can't level. To get better improvements through the relationships, get better bids, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just looking for opportunities to fix now, and when I talk to my teams and I have discussions at the directorate level, I can't fix the history of where I'm at and how I got here, but that doesn't mean I can't fix it for the way forward. And no, I don't have a good answer for this, but that's all I wanted to do is create the discussion point for us to look at this. The price of this is fairly good for, I think it was 105. But you have 11 properties above it that are all benefiting from one person flooding. And that's what I'm saying. And I am not, I'm not a lawyer. I don't even play one on TV. I felt obligated to bring this to the council because this is something that we can discuss and have it. I will validate everything that you say. If we say we're setting a precedent and we have to go back in time, I can't fix it, but I just want to have the conversation.
And let me say this, I understand why it's here and that it's a reasonable discussion to have. I just I wanted to provide everyone the history, right? So, because some of us and some of you may get calls about, you know, why did I spend this money if y'all were gonna do it? And I want you to be prepared for that. That doesn't mean we should or shouldn't do this. But I think Barry raises a real point that if you're doing this, I think what you're, at least as I understand it, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, we're gonna take on this stormwater issue that's on private property, and we're gonna do that. There may be ones that are important enough to do that with, but you've got to, it's gonna make the distinctions you draw, or not,
Nope.
that the future councils draw when residents come, those distinctions are gonna get hard, right? Right now, they're not really, because it's sort of public or private. And it's not that those distinctions can't be made, it just becomes difficult, especially from a legal standpoint of, you did this one, you didn't do this one. If this person says, well, now I'm gonna sue the city because you didn't do mine, and you don't have a good reason to do it, the future councils may have a more difficult issue. But if the city wants to take these things on, then the city wants to take these things on. But that's sort of the calculus that you're considering is not just what they're dealing with, which is understandable as to why they're here and why they want this done. And I think that's certainly part of the consideration as well. But I think you have to think about it. It's not, we've had plenty of issues that have come up like this, right? That, I don't mean stormwater, I just mean things where we've got an isolated situation that we have to apply more broadly, and we've done that one way or the other. And that's up to y'all as to what you want to do with it. But those are the considerations I think that all of us are talking about is how do you do that? And again, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think it's just whatever you
And
feel
unfortunately, this is a
appropriate.
budget time that I have to discuss it, so it's just the only time that I had. There was no other avenue for me to bring it forward. In truth, you know, one of the things that you guys could even come up with is what would be fair. Is it even going up the road a little bit to have the connection on our property? So when we talk about where they connect in at the street where it is our property. I don't know. I know that as I looked at it and all these properties are benefiting from it, I felt obligated to bring it to us and have that discussion.
Cal, I have a question. So we have a stormwater master plan that we're using for prioritization of funding. Is this project an area in prioritization up there?
So this is in Hollywood. Hollywood wasn't studied. That drainage basin wasn't
Oh,
studied.
'cause it was
It was
Griffin
only
Creek.
Griffin Brook Creek.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thanks for that
We had this,
clarification.
that a guy came, has been coming to us for years, over on Oxmoor, on that building he had, Cale, that we dealt with him, Dick Darden.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, just years trying to get us to come on his property and solve his flooding problem. And I kept telling him, Cale kept telling him, hey, it's private property, we can't go on your property to do that. So it is a concern of how do we, how do we tell one group no and another one yes is where we get into what Barry was saying is, how do you do that?
Well, I mean, it's just, are you gonna accept the risk for lawsuits, because you're gonna get them?
By not doing others.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do. If I were somebody else, I'd file a lawsuit.
Is there not a reason we can't use our resources to help get this priced? Like, I don't understand us being involved with the payment part, but why can't we help with, getting it priced better?
I mean, I think,
Well,
$105,000 isn't,
This is the pricing
I mean,
from the
that's-
city, it sounds like.
yeah, I mean, this
What I'm
is,
saying
It's the
is,
estimate from
the reason Glenn brought it to us is because, one of the reasons is because, the resources that we can tap into may provide better pricing than if an individual just went out on their own.
well, I mean, I think this is the price that we would pay. This is the city
Right,
price.
right.
The 105 is the city price.
Okay.
I'm not an engineer, so what I'm about to ask may be completely crazy. If it is, just tell me. Is there a way that we could look at addressing this a different way that would involve city property? In other words, is there something that we could do up at Hollywood Boulevard that might help, or on Poinciana, or both, that might help with the drainage, but would do it in a way that is on city property and we're dealing with city pipes, which then would make life a whole lot easier moving forward on other projects? I don't know if that's possible or not. I don't know if that's even been looked at or not, or if it's crazy. But is that something that we could look at and see if that's a possibility?
There are a couple of things, because the tie-in point that we have a drainage right here, storm drain coming down, so they tie in at a 90-degree angle, and so it doesn't do any pull. If you look at pipes that go like this, where it ties in a 30-degree angle, the water going down will pull the water out. So going like this, there's friction
just
points.
stops.
Correct. The second thing is there's quite a bit of water here. If we brought up another storm drainage and put a pipe above and what's called the storm drain, the inlet, bring the inlet up here before the turn, you could probably reduce the water that would accumulate going down and cause some of the issues they're having of the existing.
That's kind of what I'm wondering is, can we catch the water before it ever gets to
I was thinking
them
on
with
Hollywood
cities?
Boulevard.
Not all of it.
No, not most of it.
This only takes care of how it links in and how it flows from the point. It creates a little bit of suction, so it assists them, but it also would draw, if you go back up to this, it'd also give them a tie-in point, that's the location they need it to. That would be closer up here to where we'd need it.
Because
So-
that was kind of my thinking of originally, when you were talking about the whole Kenilworth, Primrose, that area, and adding all the additional inlets in. That's my question was similar to Alex's, like, if we did that in that area, would that help them? But you're saying that it probably would not.
I mean, and Wade can probably speak more knowledgeably to this than I can. So all of these properties on either side of this channel all
Yeah.
kind of slope down into this creek
So
bed.
all of it's going like this.
All of it's, right.
And that's it goes down between those, like the two houses that I'm looking at up here at the top at Hollywood. It goes right down the middle.
Right.
Yes, right, exactly.
Right down there.
and
Okay.
curves into this inlet that is here in the
Okay.
backyard, which is
Right.
that one right there.
And that's the one that's attached to the pipe that's collapsed.
That's right. It's like everywhere. Over time, people add things, and we
Right.
all do it.
Right.
And over time, you get,
There's more.
there's just more stormwater runoff. And I'm, Cale knows me and my firm, we've worked on a bunch of projects in Homewood.
Yeah.
where we're mitigating that in what we do in design now.
Right, sure,
But
but it wasn't done then.
wasn't done 100 years ago.
Right.
And it, you know, the thought process just wasn't ironed out 100 years ago like we're doing now.
Right, well, there were probably 30 houses over there as opposed to 40.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, you know, could you do something up in Hollywood? Maybe. I don't know that enough of that water coming off Hollywood is the cause of the problem is certainly contributing to it. You know, what we're talking about, the long length of the proposed alignment that runs parallel to their property line, that would, you know, 18-inch diameter pipes could probably handle that water. And because it is not within a street right-of-way, it can, and it's not subjected to traffic loading, it could be HDPE plastic pipe, okay? And then, when it gets to the right-of-way of the street, if the city extended their pipe to the city standards, reinforced concrete pipe, standard ALDOT procedures, all that, and the two could tie together, you know, that the total alignment from one end to the other is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
How we get there and do that, and how do you determine where, okay, there's a right-of-way line that's their front property line
Sure.
and the city's property line. When those two pipes meet, how do we know
Whose is
whose is whose? Is there
Sure.
a structure that is set right there that
Right.
defines and demarcates the
Right.
split of responsibility?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if Jenna and John, if you guys would entertain something like,
And I mean, I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
didn't mean to interrupt.
I would like to give a little bit of backstory, and I'm sorry I'm so emotional, but the last 4 years have been awful. It has been awful. We have spent close to $86,000 of our own money trying to mitigate this issue. And we bought this house with everything we had. We were duped and we were lied to by the owners of this home. So this has been a recurring problem. The homes around us have installed half-court basketball courts and massive driveways and we know that our neighbor behind us, who is directly running his water onto our property, had to come before the city because he re-landscaped and redid his backyard. And whoever was on that particular board who approved that, they approved him directly running water onto our home. This has been so incredibly stressful. We are out of options because we don't have any money left to fix this, and there's nothing else we can do to fix this problem without the city's support. And I'm so sorry, I'm so emotional, but it has been a long and really hard 4 years when we cannot sleep when it rains. We don't sleep. I don't sleep when it rains. And our children, their playroom filled up with 8 inches of water when they were 18 months and 3 years old. They shouldn't have had to learn how to swim to play in their playroom. We did the majority of this work before 2022. Our home has flooded. We have had significant rain events. We have taken on water in our backyard and in our basement 9 times.
It now goes under our
9 times.
foundation into the basement.
And now it's going under our foundation. We would not be here, and I'm sorry I didn't start with this, but we would not be here in front of you today if we did not need your help. Please help us, please. Because we have been let down by so many people, our neighbors, the people who sold us our house, which are also our next door neighbors. So we have to look at them every day, and we need your help. Please help us.
Okay, thank you, Jenna. And don't apologize for being emotional. I know, I can't even imagine. Wade, you mentioned something a minute ago. I'm gonna go back to it, and I can't. I might not say this correctly.
no, sure.
You said something about an easement, creating an easement. where the pipe would be essentially.
Yeah, that's
And I'm afraid our city attorney is not here. He has surgery tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna fall to the,
From a real estate point of view, that'd be the only way it could happen.
yeah,
If they
so
don't
I'm,
have to deed an easement to the city.
so I would, and I know you're not a real estate attorney, but,
But that's common
I have
sense.
done water.
you went to
runoff
law
cases.
school, so we're gonna run with
Plenty
that.
of water runoff cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you would have to have an easement, because otherwise the work can't be performed, first of all, because the city can't perform work on private property.
Right.
So there would have to be an easement that would be done. The city would also have to, there would have to be a perpetual easement, because the city would have to have the ability to come back in and continue to do work on it as was needed over time. But I don't see any issue with that structure from a legal standpoint. I think it can be.
How does that, I'm sorry,
Yep.
how would that,
You get new survey, it'd have to be brought back.
Yeah, so there would have to be you would have to do a new deed, or y'all would have to do a new deed, that had the easement on there so that it ran with the land.
so
And it would be, it would essentially be a conveyance.
We do it all the time.
If I may, since I'm a mortgage guy, you'd have to get approval if there's a mortgage on the property.
Yeah.
From your mortgage company.
Okay.
Because they'd have to get the new survey deed and get it reappraised, make sure your outstanding lien isn't.
affected by
The
that?
deduction, it won't be much, because
Right.
those dwellings where all your value is, but the land is too, but you'd have to get blessings from the mortgage.
And then I would say if y'all ever do then sell the house,
And that's.
It becomes part of the title.
it becomes
Yeah.
part of the title, and
Runs
that
with-
would, that
right,
would
it runs
ensure
with the
to
land.
anybody else who
Well,
lives
and
there
and
that
and
they didn't.
Thank you
end up
so much. And morally, what happened to us, we cannot in good conscience
No,
sell
you-
our
yeah,
home
you'd
to
have to
anyone.
disclose
Oh,
it.
right.
Yeah,
And we're good people. Those of you who don't know us, we're really good people, and we try hard to be really good stewards of our community, and we are trapped in this house unless y'all help us.
And I think in this case, that would automatically set y'all up for if y'all were to ever sell the house, you'd say, listen, we did all of this work. There's a new pipe here. It's gonna keep y'all from having the
Correct.
problems that we've had.
Correct.
So y'all would never have to be like hiding it from somebody else.
Correct, and we wouldn't.
Yeah, right. And I will agree with you, yes, y'all are very good people. We know that y'all aren't just here on a whim.
I think, just to be clear, everyone understands what you're going through, and unfortunately, sometimes these things come up and they're difficult decisions, and none of us are saying that you're making an unreasonable request at all. If I were you, I'd be asking the same thing. I get it, and I'm not telling the council what to do or not to. That's not my vote. I don't want to tell anyone how to vote. I don't want anyone to tell me how to vote. So it's up to the council as to what to do. You just need to have all the information, and so that's where we have, including what y'all have told us. But regardless, I think everyone has all the sympathy in the world for what y'all are going through and understands why you're here. Please don't feel the need to apologize or anything else. We all completely understand and want to try to find a way, whatever the path forward is, to find a way to help.
Right.
So I think, and again,
I was just saying, I'm just a little confused too, because it seems like this would be an item that would be on a council agenda that would then be, voted on one way or another.
well, I
versus
think it
sitting
came
within-
through the budget process
So
because,
let me be clear, I'm not trying to have this circumvent the system. I was setting the money aside for it if we were agreeable to do the money. So the thing is we can just say, this is tabled out of the budget and allow the next council have the discussion on the process, because they're gonna be the ones who have to understand and live with it. But we can have them start going through the process that is the proper process to bring this to the council.
Yeah, because I think to your point, Andrew, the budget committee can't do everything that needs to be done.
No,
They can't do
they
the
can't.
easement,
Right,
all that has to
right.
go through a separate
All
process.
of
gonna
this
require
is
some
my effort
lawyering.
to budget the money that I believe is in this, I said 2.1 million, and the 1.1 is this. So just understand that, it's the conversation to set the conditions for the next year's budget. This kind of stuff is different in every community, and I just wanted to set the condition for a conversation on it. We don't have the need, and this is not intended to be a decision-making situation tonight, it's a discussion only. So you can do, just like you've done before, recommend that this $105,000 just be set aside. No authority to execute that thing, just leave it there, and it's not going into the budget, and have the discussion with the next budget.
I don't necessarily think that's what we need to do, because the money's in the budget. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to say, let's sit this $105,000. It's either in the budget or it's not.
Sure.
So what my proposal would be is we leave the $105,000 in the budget. It is there, but then y'all have to go through the process with your mortgage company and whoever else you need to, a lawyer probably, to deal with.
Request for an easement
To
and
deal
all
with
that
the
stuff.
easement situation, and that might require some talks
you-
with our new city attorney, because it won't be Mike.
It's gotta be certain feet, right?
Right, yeah, there's
On
gonna be
each side of the
specific
easement,
measurements and all the things.
Still enough from your house.
And know that, I mean.
You're gonna have to survey the easement.
Yeah, cause like I have an easement on my lot, it's a power line easement, so they have access to come in and.
We do these like twice a week. We are very
we
knowledgeable
got
about
They're all,
this.
like, cause I know for y'all are like, wait, now what are we doing now? But I
There are
think.
boxes you gotta check.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be hard, but there are
Right.
boxes you gotta check.
Right, but, and it's not anything that's scary or bad, but it's just.
Sorry, I hope I'm normally like kind of a hardcore businessman. I'm losing my mind for the city council, but it's been a very long 4 years, and I appreciate y'all considering that.
Okay, so if unless anyone disagrees with me, my thought is this money stays where it is in the capital budget that is being proposed by Gail, who is just sitting here very nicely and quietly and just letting everybody
It's
just
like
talk.
It's like the fifth time he's seen me cry too. He's used to it.
And then we let the Dorlands kind of go through the process of that, and then what will likely have to happen is you would have to come back in front of the council, the new council, not this council, to get the approvals for the actual easement and work in the right of way, all the blah, 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 all the things.
Counselor Smith, I do have
Yes.
just a comment to that effect too, since we are talking about that path versus the one that Mr. Adams was referencing, and that is just, kind of like the conversation during the first budget hearing where we were considering, licensed software, like, this is all new information about projects we haven't really studied or looked at. I would like to look at, other projects that have been similar for comparison to just think through, what's next. If we are gonna move it out of budget with it as like taking next steps, I think I need to look at, other projects that have been similar where a private landowner has paid for those or instances where the city's taken on that cost, because I think we do have some due diligence to do there
Yeah.
that I don't think we have in front of us this evening.
Well, and I think all of this is, because this is essentially, are we gonna put this in the budget for 25, 26? Because obviously this probably isn't gonna happen, obviously in the next 2 weeks. It's gonna be, or the next 2 months
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
So.
It'll be November,
November. Yeah, so,
I
I
wanna liken this to the house that was next to the, whatever, Rosedale.
Yes,
Or in the
absolutely.
Lee's Center.
Then we're dealing with a municipality that's not in existence anymore. And so we gotta reset
Fixing.
the rules to now and not set precedent going forward.
But I think.
Those are.
Yeah,
me,
it's
It's all
different
stuff
things.
in there.
Well,
I
you
don't
know,
disagree with you that there may be a justification to do that because of that,
Right.
but you are setting a precedent by doing it. You
Right.
can't, it's all or nothing. Again, if that's the way this council or the next council wants to go, that's fine, but yeah, you're setting the precedent, but that may not be a bad thing. That's for the council to decide whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, they're sacrificing some land, some value, real value, real money. Y'all realize that?
Oh, we are aware.
We're sacrificing everything.
Well,
Yeah, I say it's better than water in the house, right?
Yeah.
So, I heard you say it, so that's all I need, we're on record.
Yeah, but and to your point, I think, yes, y'all can absolutely study it, but in this particular regard, we're saying, are we gonna leave this $105,000 in the budget for the future purposes of funding this project when that time comes?
And
And
mind you, just because it's budgeted, you're not giving me the authority to do anything with it, so it's.
Just means we've set aside the money.
Right, the money
If the council
exists.
approves it, the money will be there to do it.
And part of my comment too was just to make sure as well that y'all didn't incur additional expenses going out of thinking like, oh, well, this is now in the budget. I just wanna make sure
Right.
we're, you know, that things progress.
Yeah, there'll be
like-
other steps to take, but
That's
this is
it,
at least,
yeah.
the money's there,
Yeah.
and then as the steps progress, then the money's there.
We did just spend $6,000 fixing that 12-inch pipe going across our neighbor's property. That had to be done. So that's our cost.
So it's no longer collapsed?
No, it is repaired, but it's still,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
still don't sleep when the priest at that says 1.5 inches of rain in an hour, I'm not sleeping.
Well, we're in a drought for 2 weeks.
I
So-
pray for droughts, Dave. Yeah.
All right, so,
Well, God bless you.
and didn't I hear y'all say it's y'all's anniversary?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, okay. I was sitting there, please do not tell me y'all spent y'all's entire anniversary night sitting in
I
this
hope-
meeting.
I hope y'all realize how important this is.
Oh, sure.
All right, so does anybody have any other questions in regards to this?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Last
Next.
one, I knew that one would be tough, so I wanted to end on pickleball courts in West Homewood.
Yeah.
We're getting
All
4
pickleball
of them in this area next to the mega field and behind the tennis courts. There are plans that have been drawn.
I gotta start buying new equipment.
It's gonna be right in your neighborhood.
There's only 4 of them now. Don't go crazy.
There were gonna be 6. That changed, and I'll have y'all know, this has already been bid out. So this is all part of the original plan that we were gonna rehabilitate the tennis courts at the back of, Central Park and make those into pickleball courts. And then people started saying, what about the noise? And we had some noise consultants say, yeah, you need at least X, 100 yard, 1,000, whatever yards between residential and a pickleball court. And we were not even close. So it became, that scrapped and became this. So there is already money that was in the budget for that process that's gonna be rolling forward into this. But when this bid out, it bid out like 2 times what we were expecting. So they're gonna rebid the project with lighting as an ad alternate and do some different things to hopefully get those bids down. But that's the ultimate goal.
So questions as a tennis mom that spent 6 years on those courts with my kids, are any drainage issues? That's a really swampy area right there.
I know part of the bid process had everything to do with water drainage and slab and all the things. They had all of that involved in it, which may have been part of the reason that the bid came in so high. That and the lighting. I think the lighting and that was.
It came in higher than 475, is that what we're saying, or is that the bid?
No, she's saying
No,
that's why
that's-
they cut it
What's
back.
the estimate?
That's, yeah.
That's the estimate that Berkeley got.
Yeah, that was the lowest bid that
was
came
the lowest
in.
bid.
Mhm.
That was double than what we expected.
Well, it was not.
It was double than what
It
we
was double what we expected.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah. Because originally, well, and obviously it was gonna be more expensive when we were building new courts as opposed to rehabilitating the
Sure.
existing tennis courts. But, I think, what do we have, 200,000 in?
Yeah.
The budget, yeah, we had $200,000 in the budget, and we thought that this would come in maybe like 250, and then
So we're gonna rebid it out.
they're gonna repackage the bids.
But we're putting 475 in the budget for now?
Is that the fitness
Is that
court
what-
right
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That white square?
Oh,
it says fitness court on
Fitness
it.
court, yeah.
That is it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
trying to figure
Yes.
out, is
Sorry,
that?
yes, it's very
which side?
small, it's
Okay.
very small.
Okay, next question, sorry.
Yeah.
Can we go back to last year when we had lighting for the middle school?
You're gonna have to talk to Berkeley about that because that got scrapped when they decided to do this. Because initially we weren't gonna need lights because it was gonna be on the existing tennis court, which already has lights. And we were also hoping that people wouldn't be there after dark, preventing the whole noise issue, but that didn't work out. Anyway, so when this whole plan came about to do the new courts where there are not existing lights, that's when the lighting money swapped. But they're repackaging the bids to possibly do the lights as an ad alternate, because we already have lighting at the tennis courts and at the mega field, and there's some, and the baseball fields. So there's some thought that maybe something can be done in that regard, but, and he thinks that'll take a significant amount out of the bid, because the lighting was a fairly significant part of that. As we all know, lights are just really, really expensive. So anyway,
Barry, will
that's,
that be first come, first serve? Is it gonna be going under Stephanie?
I think it's gonna be first come, first served. They talked about some sort of
Who is that?
reservation. Yes, there's,
Who's the team?
well, Brian might know that. Do they have the ability to do that on the app, like to reserve courts and
Course on
stuff?
the app.
Yeah, okay, so it's, I would assume it'd be like.
Can I ask a
tennis courts.
question? I've seen many places that make the tennis courts where you
Do
can do
not
both.
take the tennis courts.
Are you just trying to get
Do
killed?
not take the tennis courts.
You gonna, how
I'm
you?
just telling you,
We
I've
need
seen it,
more.
where they
No, no,
use
no.
it for both.
We need more, like we are leagued out. I mean, like we are maxed out.
Give
Yeah.
every tennis mom
just-
his phone number.
Just trying to save some money.
I can say this.
No, dudes, like my husband, like the men's league, like they are
Yeah.
busting at the seams. I mean,
At
that's-
our courts?
Yes, oh yeah.
As far as the pickleball courts too, I mean, I think we've had this budgeted for at least 3-4 years. And I mean, I have somebody asking me all the time about when this is gonna get done.
Right, because the
So-
only ball courts we have, which aren't really pickleball courts, are the indoor in the gym
Yeah.
at the rec center. And and anybody who's like really plays pickleball doesn't want to play
But this
inside a
isn't
gym,
good,
so
I mean,
next to
you know, we
them.
don't have it.
Right.
It's in a field, it's a space that we can utilize, and
It's already in our athletic complex.
this is a wonderful
So we're
solution.
gonna get Andrew Orthopedics to sponsor all of it.
Might get golf carts
They
and
sold
whatnot.
out.
Yeah, I have not talked about,
number
the whole
one-
thing about the fitness court was
number
supposed
one
to have
referral,
visibility, which is
pickleball
not
is
gonna have as much
supposed to be
visibility.
They love it. The orthopedic guys.
But yeah, so this will be something that y'all will,
Yeah. Yay.
y'all
Yay.
be dealing
Are you done, Kale?
Nope.
Oh,
Don't get your hopes up.
I got a
do.
historic preservation.
Jeez.
meeting.
We have an hour to go.
I'm really glad you led with that senior engineer position, you know? You didn't-
Right.
It really would have been buried, so you were smart.
Just Brian, year back, that is all the 25, 26 capital projects, and it sounds like they're all just gonna stay as is for now.
I think so.
All right. So Glenn asked us to look for over the next 5 years, projected what capital projects might look like. So we did. We put budgets together for 26, 27, 27, 28 for 5 more years. So go to the next slide, Brian. A lot of these carryover projects you'll see in 26, 27. This is also when the fire station number 2 construction starts, and potentially when the senior center renovations
Community center.
would start.
Community center.
Go ahead. What
I
are you
wanna-
looking
I
at?
wanna change the name from senior to community.
No, we're not doing that.
Yes.
And
I won't know if it's senior.
I'll give Berkeley your suggestion.
we applied, or the county applied for SS4A grants. Hopefully, we'll know those soon, but I can see us like actually executing those in 26, 27.
That's the 3 projects that we identified.
Salter and Valley.
That's right.
Okay.
We'll always have creek wall emergencies, we'll always have stormwater emergencies. That's a lot of money budgeted for 26, 27. But, I mean, again, this budget, 25, 26 budget didn't really kind of come together until this past summer.
Yeah.
So we'll pull that tight again next time. All right, next, continuing to look ahead to 27, 28. Oh, sorry. We will probably go after another out tap grant, again, SS4A projects, stormwater projects, the finishing up the senior center and the fire station number 2, there's $5 million in there for that. Creek walls and stormwater, and then the indoor training facility, which has been mentioned by Chief and some of their group. So you can speak to this.
Sure.
The indoor police training facility with Hoover. And,
Yeah, so I can speak to that real quick. So this is a gun range training facility. So currently, all the over the mountain communities are having issues with where to do this. as you might expect. Some cities, quite frankly, have it really close to residential areas, which is surprising. Yeah, and others are, including us, are driving a pretty good distance to do it. We actually have a potential site to create an indoor gun range that we could do in cooperation with the other over the mountain cities. The legislature has passed a bill that would allow us to create an authority amongst that group that could own it, run it, all of those good things. But we're the city with the property and the structure that could be adapted to do that. So it'll take a little while to sort of look into it to see if it could all work. But every police department, Homewood, Mountain Brook, Vestavia, and Hoover, are all at least interested in it. And it would, in all likelihood, at least long term, save some money, provide better access for all of the police departments.
Day and night training.
And day and night training, and would eliminate some of the issues that we're having right now.
Where
So,
would it be? Where?
it's out on, it's on Citation.
Yeah, Citation
So it's
Court.
not, it's in an industrial area,
Yeah.
and it's indoor, which helps, obviously. But yeah, it's out on Citation in one of our we have an existing building right now that we are not using.
So they're gonna pay us for it, right?
Scenario designs with vehicles too.
So what I have told the people involved is that because they would be using our land, that our contribution to the authority would have to reflect that.
There you go.
So that other cities, in my mind, would end up paying more of the initial cost than we would to balance it out, since it's our land that we would be giving to the authority.
So looking at the notes here, so this is a $15 million project?
Yes.
Not for the city,
But
necessarily,
split with the
yeah.
other partnering
Correct.
jurisdictions if it all comes together.
Correct, and there's still a million steps for it to come together. The first step was the legislature authorizing the authority, which they've done.
And if it wasn't split, I mean,
We could afford it.
There you go.
that's
Yeah.
it.
And, you know, like the mayor said, there has to be there are plenty of steps to take before anything ever happens. So that's why we have it budgeted out 2 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
And mind you, we're putting a lot on these things. We don't know where we land each year and we will readjust, but you have to put what you are aware of onto a calendar, otherwise you won't properly address it in the future. So that's all this is we're programming out the amount of load we've got to do.
Or a fire truck gets dropped.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. No, we're talking about some police cars. All right, Brian, 28, 29.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so we're just playing guessing games at this point. But I mean, you know, one day hopefully there's a real 5-year conference.
Sure, yeah.
Can look ahead to this amount. I'm trying to land close to 7 million. I know the last 2 years were more like 11. And so this was comprehensive plan projects. We haven't talked about that yet, but in a couple of years, the comprehensive plan will have finished, and then we'll have a bucket full of projects to go out and execute. So hopefully that would start this year, potentially the previous year. And then we're still knocking off some of those creek wall projects. And at some point, I think the stormwater detention facility at the Board of Education is a big project and would really help with stormwater in Griffin Brook Creek. And hopefully by then, we would be able to go to the Board of Education. They've been able to figure out what they can do with that land, and we can create a detention facility in the corner of it.
Cool.
Okay, next.
Oh, Lord.
And then stormwater, and then I put another stormwater master plan. I mean, hopefully at this point, all the stormwater projects that we know about that have created problems have been completed, and we're starting to plan on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A whole new crop of them.
That's
And all of our
Fun.
creek walls are in great shape, so.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
that's it.
Thank
Wow,
you.
thank you. Thank
It'll
you,
be a lot
Cale.
greater too, Cale.
Yeah, right.
It'll be a lot
You'll-
greater.
Yeah, that's
you'll-
right. Yeah.
He might look like me, which is a good thing, because I'm really good looking.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Smith?
Thank you for finishing.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right, 10 minutes early, baby.
all right. I was
my
kidding.
time.
I was kidding when I said 2 hours.